Well, hello, and welcome back, y'all. Today I wanted to start a somewhat mini series called Rags to Gems. My sim is going to, at some point, purchase an old business location and over time upgrade it. She's going to use her gemology skill and try to build up her business. So, what we're going to do, at least my thought is that I'm going to eventually, when she has the money, move her into this abandoned building, which we'll walk through here in a little bit. And we're going to try to make it a livable space with the business in mind. So my thought was to have this section here be the business part of it. The other little section will be where she crafts all her jewelry and things like that, and eventually build an upstairs, which would be her little apartment. I kind of have the idea in my head how it's going to turn out at the end. I have absolutely no idea, but that is the goal. What I'm asking you guys to do for me to kind of help me along is if you have any ideas as to how she can make money in the meantime. I know I want to have her work in the scientist career so that she can work in the building that has all of the gems and rocks in the land around it, so that she can collect all her gems. She's not going to sell any of those. She's just going to collect them along the way. Once she moves into this building, then I'm going to have her start making her jewelry and kind of putting it off to the side until she can finally open her business and start selling it in a real business atmosphere. I don't want to sell them before that. I might forget, so if I do forget and start selling them, please remind me that that was my original plan. Although it might change along the way, I don't know, but that's my plan as of right now. So anyway, right now what I'm doing with the interior of this building is just kind of placing a few items that make it look like this used to be a small business. We've got the counter and some shelving units and stuff, and I just kind of want to make it look like it was once a building and no longer is now. It's been abandoned and whatnot. It's waiting for somebody to purchase it so that they can renovate it and make it better. So here for the next little bit, what I'm doing is adding some furniture pieces, well, not really furniture, but adding some pieces in here, kind of laying it out. It is old and abandoned, so we're going to have cracked floors, we're going to have cracks in the walls, we're going to have the mildew stains, things like that. It's not the prettiest, but that's how she's going to get it for a cheaper price, is that she purchases it. She's going to throw down a cot probably inside this building once she moves in, which I think it's right now, I think it's about $8,000, right around there, or 8,000 simoleons. So I don't know how long it's going to take to get to that point. But the plan is for her not to create any jewelry until she has the money to purchase this building. So that's the plan. And again, I'm going to add cracks and, old dirty things and make the bathroom look gross. We're going to have some exposed pipes, and it's small. I don't really want the business or the business building anyway, to get much bigger. I kind of want to keep the original shell of the original building and then just add to it in the sense of how she lives, where she lives. Now, I'm sure most of you know when you build on a lot like this, or any lot, honestly, trying to match up the concrete or the wood or the grass that's not on your actual lot is sometimes difficult to match up. And that's exactly what I was trying to do here. I think I did a pretty good job, though. I think I think it's a pretty good match, in my opinion. I mean, it of course can be much better, but I think what I am going to do possibly is at some point maybe move the building back a little bit, leave the back side of this building as her backyard, and the front side be like, street parking, kind of, like where you go through or down Main Street in a small little town or a small city, and you go down the original Main Street and you're just driving down, and then you can just quickly pull into a parking spot right in front of a building. That's kind of what my thought process is on that. So, I mean, I know it's going to be, I don't know if that's going to work though, because it doesn't look like there's a street right there, so it might look a little unusual. I don't know that I can do that, but I'll figure something out. That was my thought, but maybe I can't do that. But we'll figure it out, hopefully together. Hopefully you can whisper in my ear by way of the comment section and tell me that's not going to work, honey. You got to think of something else, and I will. I can change it. That's not a problem. But I am going to want your help with this one because I'm kind of flying blind on it. What my thought is, because I don't have businesses and hobbies yet, I do plan on getting it once my money situation has been figured out. I do want to purchase businesses and hobbies and run this as a businesses and hobbies build. But that I don't know when exactly I'm going to do that. So I don't know when the series is actually going to start taking off, hopefully within the next month or two. But it could be 3, 4, 5 months from now. I don't know. So make sure you hit subscribe just in case so that you can get notifications. Just saying, just putting it out there. Anyway, so once I get businesses and hobbies, I want to run this as a business out of her home. It's not going to start that way, of course. And until she has the money, she's going to be living, I don't know where, somewhere in the grass, in the dirt, in a park somewhere. I don't know. She's going to have to be figuring it out along the way. And that's okay. That is okay because she's going from rags to gems. Now, my thought, I had an idea because my rags to riches sim is currently married and they're living in this $300,000 plus mansion. I'm thinking of possibly having them get divorced, and then that's why she's living out on the street and she has no money. That's why she had to get a job, even though she's living on the street, and then eventually moving her into here. I think that's what I'm going to do. If you think that's a good idea, I will absolutely happily go with that. If you think that I should start all over as a different sim or the same sim in a different save or a brand new sim, that's fine. Just throw me down some ideas. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I think there's going to be a little bit of time before we actually have to get to that point, which is fine. I don't think it'll be too long, but you know, money, the current economy, life, things, you know how it goes. So anywho, I've got a lot of ideas in my head. I just can't figure out which idea I want to go with. So I've kind of thrown you out where my brain is right now. So just let me know what you think. If you have a better idea or whatever, that's fine. I'm more than happy to listen. And I'm sure you may have a better idea than I do. I don't know. We'll see. But in making this build, I was trying to figure out, how do I make this look better? Like worse, but how do I make this look a better kind of worse? If that makes sense. Worse in a good way, because I wanted it to look run down. I wanted it to look that way. So I was playing, I was going back and forth. I'm like, well, maybe they had a waiting room or whatever. And, you know, this old junky couch out there. And then, of course, the mannequin. And, of course, they don't have a counter that looks run down. So I was like, okay, well, that one can be somewhat better looking. And then I was thinking about the bathroom, too. I was like, well, do I really want it closed off? Do I not want it closed off? What would look more run down and abandoned looking? So eventually I do take that wall off where the bathroom door is. And it's just basically an open section into the bathroom. So I would say, let's think Old Town was a thriving business at one point. The economy went down. People abandoned buildings. But recently, other buildings have been purchased and made to look nicer, and this is one of the last buildings that are left because nobody wants to put the money in to fix this one because, well, one, it's way too small, and two, it's going to cost a lot of money. So I think, like I said, I've got a lot of ideas in my head, and the story just keeps building itself. It's weird how that happens. I'm sure that you guys go through that too. I don't think I'm the only one anyway, but I might be. I don't know. I don't think so. But here I was trying to make sure that the windows weren't like all matchy, that they were all perfect. Cause I was like, no, it can't look perfect. It has to look bad. So I couldn't figure out how to make it look bad. I was trying so hard, but I was proud of myself with the ceiling or with the roof and adding these like holes in the roof. I was like, oh, that'd be a neat little touch. So I did that, but trying to find, okay, I can never find the gravel that I want for the roof, the flat roofs. And I finally found it. I actually found it. I don't even remember how I looked it up. Oh, it was under flooring. And I did everything under flooring, and I found it by scrolling through for a minute. But I did find it, so I was happy about that. But this here is the backyard that I was talking about, that I kind of want it to be her backyard. I don't want like customers and others to be in this backyard. But again, it's abandoned, run down a little bit. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's going to need work. So I was trying to find, like dead trees and dead grass and things that made it look a little overgrown and abandoned and ignored for a while. And then I'm just kind of trying to go through after I finished the roof. And I did find, I think it was under wall decorations, I did find the pipes and things that go, the exposed pipes and stuff, which hopefully will go away. It's like, oh, air conditioner. I can get a wall air conditioner because it doesn't have central air. I was like, cool. Where do I find that? So I went looking for that. So yeah, this is my plan for this build, for this small series. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any other ideas that you think might work better or ideas that you would like to see. And yeah, I'll definitely take a look at all of those ideas and try to make an informed decision for your benefit, of course, and mine, because I love playing Sims. It's fun. Until next time, y'all, have fun.